Welcome. It's finally here. It's your girl, Johana, better known as Joe. It's our first episode of A Cup of Joe with Joe. Welcome. I am so excited. Literally, my heart is beating out of my chest. There's been so many preparations behind the scene. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for allowing me to come into your lives, come into your home. Thank you for listening and tuning in. Welcome to my home. Again, I am so excited. It's our first episode of A Cup of Joe with Joe. Okay, so Joe, why are we doing this? Why are we doing A Cup of Joe with Joe? Why did you want to do this? Well, I'll tell you why I wanted to do this. If you've been in my life, sorry. If you are in my life and I'm walking with you or you're walking with me or you've known me for any amount of time, you know that I love encouraging and empowering women. It is what I do. It is a passion of mine. And so I wanted to do this and create this platform to do what I do privately. I always say I am a marketplace minister, to do what I do privately with women, but to create a platform to do it where it could touch other women. And so at A Cup of Joe with Joe, I created my objective, like my why. Why am I doing this? There's so many other platforms. There's so many people doing this. Why are you doing this, Johana? Well, I found my objective and I found my why, and I want to let you know what they are. I created them. Being an organizational leadership major, I created these three things that's going to guide us going forward here at A Cup of Joe with Joe. And these three things are our mission, our vision, and our values. Our mission, vision, and values. And please know these are the same mission, vision, and values that guide my life. So our mission here at A Cup of Joe with Joe is first and foremost, if you've been doing life with me, you know that I say these things often to you. I've said them to you before. And this is the mission. The mission is to teach women to know who they are and whose they are. To teach women to know who they are and whose they are. Because I know when the light bulb went in for me, it went and it was mind-blowing. It was when I knew who I was. When I knew whose I was, my life changed. The trajectory of my life changed. The things I did, the things I encountered, the way I loved, the way I became a mother, a wife, a student, everything I tried to accomplish in my life changed because I knew deep down who I was and whose I was. So that's my goal. That's my mission, to teach you to know who you are and whose you are. Well, how do we do that? Well, here's the vision. The vision is to encourage, enrich, and empower women, moving them from their limitations into their potential. That's the vision here for me, is to enrich, encourage, and empower women, moving you from your limitations to your potential. Well, how do you do that, Joe? Here are the guiding values that I hope you take with you. There are three things. It is faith, truth, and fierce determination. Faith, truth, and fierce determination. Faith in yourself, faith in God. Truth, where you speak the truth, you walk the truth, and you live the truth. Fierce determination, which is centered on having a strong sense of clarity that keeps you moving, even in the face of adversities. It keeps you moving towards your goals, towards your objective, even when you face adversities, because even when you know who you are and whose you are, adversities are gonna come. It is part of life. It's not an if, but it's a when. But I know when I face adversities, when I face the mountains and the peaks and the valleys, what kept me going, even when there are days I didn't want to get up, was I realized who I was. I knew who I was, and I knew I had a purpose. I knew I was fearfully and wonderfully made. And on top of that, I knew whose I was. I am not the tail, I am the head. I am not beneath, I am above. Once those things were centered in my heart, I knew there isn't anything I couldn't conquer. Now, it's not to say I haven't had my trials. It's not to say I haven't had my moments, but I overcame them. I walked through them because I knew those things. So this is what the goal and objective here at A Cup of Joe with Joe. So Joe, what are we gonna talk about today? Well, we're gonna emphasize the mission. Because here's the thing, with all the ideas that been sent my way to talk about money, budget, marriage, love, loss, relationship, parenting, women empowerment, social issues, as women, we can't tackle all of those things. We can't be our fierce self if we don't know who we are. You know the illustration when we're flying, they tell you to put the oxygen on you first before you help somebody else. So that's what we're doing with this first episode. We're gonna put the oxygen on us first before we could help anybody else. And here's the oxygen. So we're gonna talk about knowing who we are and whose we are. So I know a lot of you, if you know me, you know that I love, I'm a royal family obsessed, right? My favorite royals, of course, is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, right? Part of the reason why is I actually knew Meghan Markle when she was in Suits. That was one of the shows I used to watch in USA. I still binge watch it. So during the interview that she had with Oprah, I know some of you have watched it, 20 million people watch it. There was something that struck me in that interview that she said. I think it was right after her wedding to Prince Harry. Oprah had asked her to shoot her an email and ask her to do an interview right after the wedding. And she told Oprah in the interview recently that she couldn't say yes to the invitation because she was told she couldn't do the interview. But more than anything, what struck me the most in that moment, what she told Oprah, even if she could do the interview, the royal handlers, now catch this, told her that going forward, she'd have to be 50% of herself. Whoa, what? They told her, a grown 30-something-year-old woman, going forward, she had to be less than. She couldn't be 100% Meghan Markle. Now imagine, you're a grown woman, you've paid your bills, you've walked through life, you've done things, and somebody tell you, you know what, you are too you. There's too much of you going around. You're too bright. You're too good. You're too beautiful. You're too anything. So I'm gonna need you to bring it down about 50%. I couldn't think of that. That is not what God created you to be. This woman knew. Now, she did spend 2 years trying to be less than 50% of herself, and look how it turned out. Because guess what? When God created you, he created you fearfully and wonderfully. He gave you everything that you needed to walk through life and not to be half of yourself, because he didn't die on the cross for half of you. He died for the whole you. So there's no such thing as 50% because somebody else feels insecure because of your shine. That's never going to happen. That's why it's very important for us women to know who we are, and we stand firm on what God created you to be. Knowing who you are has nothing to do with other people. It has nothing to do with a place, a thing. It has to do with you knowing that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And once that captured, I remember the moment I had that aha moment. Max and I had just started saying, you know what, we're gonna try to repair our marriage. And I had certain goals, I had certain sets. You know, if you've heard my testimony, like I remember telling him, you have to come home, you have to cook dinner, you still have to cook dinner, we still have to have family night. And I remember I woke up one morning in that 2-bedroom apartment, that 1,100 square feet apartment, and I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time. And I wasn't looking through the mirror. I was looking at the person in the mirror. And I realized, oh my goodness, she is perfectly imperfect, but she is wonderfully made. I liked what I saw. I liked what was staring back at me. The moment that light bulb went on, y'all, I'm telling you, it was a game changer for me. I went back to school. We paid about $70,000 off in debt. My relationship improved with not just with my husband, but with my family, at my church. I started serving even more. Like I said, I went back to school. We got out of debt, bought a new house, built a new house. I mean, it just changed. I tackled life differently. And so when, you know, girls or women come to me like, why do you still have a smile? Like when we hear your story, like we can't believe you've been through all of those. Like, how are you still here? It's simple. I know who Johana is, and Johana likes Johana. I mean, I know that sounds weird. I like who I am. Your opinion about me does not change who I am. It does not change how I feel about myself. The only opinion that really matters, to be honest with you, is his opinion. His opinion matters because not everybody is going to like you. You are not everybody's cup of joe. You are not everybody's cup of tea. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? That's okay. Because for the people that you are their cup of tea, they're going to embrace you and you have a purpose in their life. So know who you are, because once you get to that other side, let me tell you, it's going to be beautiful. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be beautiful. At the same time, you're walking this journey to know who you are, but it is more important. It's not just important to know who you are, For those of you who are walking with Christ, and for those of you who are not, because I want my audience to be those that know the Lord and those that don't know the Lord. Here's the thing. The second part of this is know whose you are. You may say, well, I don't believe in God, whatever, but there is a purpose that you were created for, and know who that purpose is for and what that purpose is for. So for those of you who are walking in the faith, know whose you are, okay? You are his. I think Friday, it hit me about that part, knows who you are. I've been preparing for it. So Friday that just passed, Max and I had date night, right? And so we went to our favorite Asian restaurant. And that Asian restaurant is here in Columbia. And of course, this is, I think, our fourth time going there. And so the people are starting to get to know us, our favorite bartender in there. And so we sit down in our reserved spot. And then the owner comes and he started talking to us. He's, he was like, oh, you guys are back. Thank you for coming back, blah, blah, blah. And he tells Max and I that him and his wife have been married for 37 years. And so, of course, we're like, oh, my goodness, 37 years. Here we are with our little 22 years. Tell me more. Like, how did you do it? And, we're just talking and talking and talking. And the conversation evidently, obviously get to children. And he tells my husband and I that he has 5, but 4 of those are girls. And of course, Max is like, how do you do it? And he's like, 2 of them are married. And Max is like, I only have 1. And Max leans over and he was like, my biggest concern for my daughter is that because she's starting to have boys talk with her and date. And as a father, talking to another father, and he leans over and he goes, my biggest wish for her is that she finds a man that loves her to the standard that I have for her. And Mr. Udom, that's his name, he leans over and he goes, as a father of 4 with 2 married, let me tell you, they're never going to meet your standard for the way you love her. She's your little princess. And so I'm sitting between these 2 men and it hit me like a lightning bolt. Oh my gosh, that's how God feels about us. No man, no place, no thing, nothing is going to meet the standard of love he has for you. You are his little princess. You are a royal priesthood. They're never going to meet that. Only he can meet that standard. That's how he feels about you. But see, you're not going to know that if you don't know whose you are. You are his. His standard of love and of goals and dreams he has for you, even you can't comprehend it. So then how else is somebody else going to have that same standard for you? It can only be found in him. So that's why you have to know whose you are. Like, it hit me like a ton of brick. And then this verse came to my mind. I am horrible with where those verses are, but I'm going to try to paraphrase. So this is what the verse says. The verse, I believe it's in Matthew 7, verse 11. And this is what it says. If you, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? If we human beings with all the baggage, all the issues, all the hate in our heart know to have a high standard for our children, how much more does God have high standard of living, loving, and living life for you? Think about that. But see, we're going to walk around in the world aimlessly if we don't know those 2 truths. I call them truths. They are fundamental pillars that I stand on. I know who I am and I know whose I am. And when I tell you those 2 things, even when I am down, and there are moments, guys, let me tell you, I couldn't even get out of that bed. There are trials and tribulation that I've been through the past 2 years with my brother's incarceration, with just so many things, seasonal depression, anxiety, that I didn't even know how I was going to make it. But there was something inside of me that says, wake up, my dear child. I have plans for you. Jeremiah 29:11, plans to prosper you, not bring you harm. You are my child. Get up. I got things for you to do. You are beautiful. You are powerful. When those things remind me, when those things come back in my heart, they penetrate my head, they get in my heart, there's nothing I can do. That's the reason why then I'm able to then pour in other people, because you can't pour what you don't have, right? You can't give what you don't have. And the source of what you have is him. Once he does that for you, who you are, you can become a better wife, mother, career woman, whatever you tackle in life. I know friends of mine are calling me. They're like, I'm going through this. And the way I speak with them, and if any of them, I know some of you are online right now looking. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you know that. When you know whose you are, and I've told you this to the point where we've cried on the phone together because I believe in you. I could see it. You don't have what I have. I don't have what you have. But here's the thing. We each are important in the body of Christ. As women, we know our importance in the world. We know our importance in our family. We know what we mean to our husbands, to our children, to our parents. We go through so much in life in corporate America and in the trials and tribulation as women in this world. There's so much that comes against us. There's so much that we have to overcome. But we can't do that on our own. You can't put that big chest in your shoulder and your chest and go to the world and try to be everything you are if you are not centered, if you are just wishy-washy your way into this life. You can't be all that you can be for your daughters, for your sons, for your husband, for you, for your career, for the goals that you have. How are you going to tackle them if you can't stand on those two truths? So I am telling you here at A Cup of Joe with Joe, it is my hope, it is my desire, it is my prayer for you that no matter what you're encountering right now, if there's a voice right now telling you that you'll never be anything, that the marriage will never be repaired, that I can never go back, that there's no starting over for me, I'm telling you, it is a lie from the pit of hell. It is a lie from the pit of hell. Listen to the sound of my voice. It is a lie from the pit of hell. You are a child of God. He died on that cross for you. The last illustration I'm going to make is, and this is a credit to my pastor. I went to church this Sunday at Bethel, and Pastor James talked about that in the book. So during the Sunday when the rock was rolled and Jesus was risen, Peter and John ran to the tomb and saw the tomb empty, and they ran back, right? And Mary Magdalene stayed. In the first encounter, when she saw what she thought was a man, but it was Jesus, the first thing Jesus told her then, Jesus said, "Woman, why are you weeping?" Right? He calls her by her gender, woman, why are you weeping? And when she didn't realize and hear his voice and understand who was talking to him, she still thought it was a guy. The second time he opened his mouth, he spoke to her, he called her name. He said, Mary. When he said Mary, I loved how Pastor James put it. It wasn't so that he could reveal himself to Mary. It was so that he could reveal Mary to herself. It was so that Mary, the scale that are on her eyes, could fall and see her Savior. And the moment she realized her eyes were open and she saw Jesus, she said, "Teacher." The game changed for her. She's the one who went and told the guys who were hiding in the house, "He's risen, he's alive, he's here." He revealed himself to a woman. He revealed himself to a woman. That is because you have value, you have purpose. He knows you by name, and you are his. You belong to him. So ladies, thank you. I'm telling you, if you understand these 2 points, this next journey we're going to take together is going to be amazing. The other topics that we're going to discuss, you're going to feel like you're able. I hope that God teaches you and shows you that you are able to tackle them, because you are going to know who you are and whose you are. I love you guys. This is so much fun. Let me see. Let me check on. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love y'all. Thank you so much. But seriously, this is just the foundation episode today. I didn't want to be too long. I wanted to be direct, on point with these 2 foundations. So please, please stand on those truths today. Let them enter your heart. Let them enter your mind. Whatever you're going to tackle, walk in there with your head held high, because you know who you are and you know whose you are. And when you have that, you do have that S in your chest. You can conquer anything. You are an overcomer. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. And there's nothing you can do without when you know those 2 things. So So the producer back there is just telling me to check on you guys. Oh my God, shout out to all of you guys. Lazetta, Tarika, my sister, Nene, for tuning in. Oh my goodness, I love you guys. Your words of encouragement has been amazing to me. I hope in some way this little chat that I've had with you guys is a blessing to your midweek. You know, guys know I love Wednesday, so this is your hump day Wednesday wisdom to get you through the rest of the week, to get you through the rest of your day. You are beautiful, each and every single one of you. You are special in the eyes of your Father. Do not listen to that voice in your head, that naysaying that says that you are never never gonna. The moment you hear that, stop it right there, because that is not over your life. I love you guys. I will see you soon. In 2 weeks, we will be back with more topics to discuss. Thank you. If you guys have any comments, questions, feedbacks, or anything, please, you could text me if you have my number, message me. But we do have an email address. It is acupofjoewithjoe@gmail.com. Again, acupofjoewithjoe@gmail.com. We're going to come back with more topics. We're going to come back with social issues, mental health issues, marriage, divorce, parenting, just so many things that affects women. Corporate America. And one of the things I want to do is also shout out each of my girls, every woman that I know that are doing some side hustle, that are doing some amazing things to be the head and not the tail. I want to shout every single one of you guys on each episode. But today, my first shout out, cannot miss, goes out to my hubby, the CEO and producer extraordinaire of Star Production. He has been working tirelessly. He came home this morning from work. He has not even gone to sleep yet with helping put this together. Honey, I love you. You are the wind beneath my wing. I have met my soulmate. You are amazing. Thank you for your love and your support. That makes me the empowered woman that I am. You are the man behind the woman. And for that, I love you. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a blessed Wednesday. Have a fierce week. You are amazing. You are beautiful. Thank you for tuning in to A Cup of Joe with Joe. I love you guys. Bye. See you next time.